Hey guys, it's Chinchilla Sims here again today, and if you saw the beginning of the video, you saw that this video is dedicated to my hamster Kiko, who just passed away a couple of days ago, unfortunately. I knew that he was in bad health from like the moment I got him, and honestly I'm surprised that he lived as long as he did. He was around for about 7 months, and yeah, I was actually surprised that he lived that long, because he seemed to have a lot of health issues. He was blind, he had like kidney problems, there was just a lot, but he was a very good hamster, and so I dedicate this video to him today. And if you download this house from the gallery, there actually is a hamster in the house, and it'll be named Kiko in his memory. So I just thought that was a nice little thing to do, is to make sure that everybody who downloads this house has their own little Kiko, and he can live on forever in everybody's sim houses. So that is what we were doing today. We're building a house for roommates. 2 roommates, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then one of them is an artist and the other one is a YouTuber or streamer or whatever. I think it's more easy to make a sim a YouTuber, if I remember correctly, because they make videos, they don't really stream. But you could always pretend that they're a streamer. I do like give a background setup behind their little recording station to make it look more realistic, like they're super into streaming or making YouTube videos or whatever. But I kind of decided that these people are already pretty successful because this house is not cheap. I started out trying to make this a starter home, and every time I try to make a starter home it turns out being really expensive, so I just gave up on that again. But right now I'm making the kitchen, and I did that thing that I always see people do where they like turn the cabinets inside out, and I think that it looks so cute like this. When you see the finished product, I think it looks really cute. But I use those base game counters. Those are like the cheapest counters, and I think that they actually look really nice. I don't think they look that cheap, but I end up using the fridge and oven that are like 15,000 simoleons each, which is a bit crazy. So like I would completely understand if you wanted to switch those out before you moved Sims in here, because I guess it doesn't really like make sense for such a small house to have such an expensive fridge and oven. But they just match the aesthetic better than any of the other fridges and ovens, so that is why I have the most expensive ones in there. I just wanted it to look nice, but you can definitely go ahead and switch those out. I won't be offended, I won't even know. But yeah, so this house kind of took me a while because I was building it on stream, so I was talking to the Twitch chat a lot, and they were kind of telling me what direction to go in, and I would try out their stuff, and then if I didn't like it, I would change it. But I got a lot of good advice from some of them, and originally I was doing the kitchen in that industrial vibe that you saw, but I ended up switching it out to something like more neutral and just really pretty. And this whole like living space turns out very light, and just a lot of light woods and white, and I don't know, it's just really pretty. But I don't know, I really like this house a lot. I think I say that about all of the houses that I build, but I don't know, I really like this one a lot because it's in Oasis Springs, and I never build in Oasis Springs. I don't know why. I don't know. The lighting here bothers me a little bit. During the day it's super, super bright, which is actually really realistic for this kind of climate, because somebody in the Twitch chat was telling me that in Arizona, the lighting looks just like that. Like it's just horribly bright. But sometimes I find when I build here, I get annoyed at like the way that houses look so different like throughout the day, like the coloring completely changes. So I don't usually build here, but I'm really happy that I decided to for this build, because I think it really matches the rest of Oasis Springs, and it just has like that single story, like I don't even know, like is this mid-century? I'm not sure, but it just turns out super cute on the outside. It's very different from what I normally build, and instead of roofing, I decided to do like half walls on top, and I just think that it turns out so cute with the little pergola. And I also add a debug car that looks kind of old school, so it just has like a, on the outside it has kind of like a 70s vibe maybe. But yeah, so now we are starting the living space. If you didn't notice, it took me a while to figure out, I might have cut it out actually, but it did take me a while to figure out how I was going to do the floor plan for this house because it was very complicated, having the big doors that like you walk through, so it just made it hard to figure out like where all the rooms were going to be. But I think that it turns out really good in the end. This ends up being the living space, so the kitchen looks directly into the living space, which I personally love in any house, and especially in this one I think it looks really cute and cozy. The living space is very small, but it's also very functional, and I change out that table and chairs. I just put those down so that I could map out where everything was going to be, and I really wanted to use a circular table, but I do end up using a square table in the end just because it matches better, and also it just filled up the space better. The circular one felt like it was a little bit too small, and even when I tried the other ones, it felt too small. So that is why that table is sitting over there. I was just mapping out where everything was gonna go before I decided to start decorating, because I didn't want to change it out and then have to delete all of my decorations, of course. And yeah, so now we are decorating the living space with plants, of course. I always use hanging plants. I need to stop. I kind of wish that we would get more hanging plants, because I would like some that are a little bit less boho, you know what I mean? Like they have beads on them and they're like pastel colors, which is fine, but like at the same time I just really want like hanging plants that are like a fern, you know, like that has very long like hanging down pieces, and that's just like the kind of hanging plants that I want. You can find them as custom content. You can find a lot of them as custom content, but I don't know, I just wish that we had them in the game. I don't really like to use custom content all that much, so that's like, I stopped there because I was responding to the Twitch chat. I thought I deleted all those spots where I like responded to the Twitch chat, but sometimes it's hard to get all of them. That's just what happens when you build on Twitch. There were a lot of people in the chat though talking about this build, and a lot of them really liked it, so I'm glad about that. It's always nice to build on Twitch, because sometimes when I get a little bit more experimental with my builds, some of them will point out to me like, hey, that's like not realistic, or that like looks really awkward. So sometimes I can't always tell, and it's just nice to have those extra voices like watching me, and like having company while you play is really nice, honestly. I don't know, I really like building on Twitch. I didn't used to, and it was a lot easier to edit my videos when I didn't, because I could just like, I didn't have to go and cut out all of like my be right back screens or my starting soon screen, or spots where I pause for a really long time to talk to people. But I think that it's more worth it in the end, because I have somebody to talk to while I'm building. I feel like the builds turn out better because there's people giving me suggestions. Oh, right now I'm pulling out these beautiful paintings from the gallery. I don't know if you knew that you could do this, but there are people that have uploaded different pictures into their games and put them on the gallery, and it doesn't count as custom content, and you can just add them right into their game without custom content. Just go on the gallery and search art or pictures or something and go to like most popular usually. But this one is by M. Barnett, which is M-B-A-R-N-E-T, and they are stunning and I love them. And originally I was just going to have like the EA paintings in the artist's room, but I decided like it would be really cool to have these stacked around and hung up on some of the walls and sitting around in her room, and just like pretend that she actually painted these and this is like her style, you know? And she just has a bunch of them sitting around because she's not very confident in herself, so she never tries to sell them. Maybe she doesn't think she's very good, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking like as a storyline for her. for me, it's 2 girl Sims that are living in the same house and then maybe eventually fall in love. But you could definitely play with any family in here. But I was thinking that maybe she's completed university and has a very successful, 9-to-5 job, but she doesn't really like it. She wants to be a painter, but she makes a ton of money at her job and she paints in her free time. Even though she's really good at painting and could make a lot of money at it, she's just not like confident enough yet. So that's kind of like the story I thought about for her. And now we have moved on to our YouTubers room, and I believe that this person actually is a YouTuber, a full-time YouTuber. That's just like what they do as their job, and maybe they make a decent amount of money at it already, because they have a very nice setup behind their computer desk, which you'll see in a second. I'm going to give them a nice little background. So I think like maybe they've been at it for a while, and this like neon logo or whatever is their channel logo or something. I just thought that was a cool idea, but you can definitely like put any Sims that you want in this house. You can always delete this stuff and change up the bedrooms. That's the nice thing about the Sims and the gallery, is that if you like a house but you don't like certain rooms, you can change them up. And yeah, I just thought that this turned out really cute, and I could just imagine that like being the background of somebody's video, so I thought that was really cool. And for the rest of the bedroom, I do pretty neutral, like white, and I put those one paintings that are the plants, and I overuse those actually. I use those too much, but I also put a hamster cage. This is where Kiko will be. And there's also a dog bed, so I imagine she's kind of an animal lover. Besides being a YouTuber, she also like really loves animals. And I thought I was gonna add a cat in here too, but I completely forgot to put a litter box. But if you wanted, you could have like a dog, a cat, a hamster, all of that, or you could have none of that. You could completely delete that. I don't think I used a lot of cats and dogs in this build, besides the pets stuff that's like the food bowl and the bed, and stuff that's meant specifically for the pets. So if you don't have cats and dogs, I feel like you could definitely still download this, and only a few things would get deleted and you could easily replace them. So if you don't have that pack, no worries. And other than that, yeah, we're still working on this room. I'm gonna add the hamster cage in a second here. Yeah, there it is. And there is our little Kiko. And it was kind of funny because while I was doing this, somebody was in the chat named Real War Hamster, and I was like, oh my goodness, my hamster just died and your name is Real War Hamster. And he was like, oh no. I just thought that it was like, I don't know, kind of like a sign or something like that. Maybe I'm just superstitious, but I decided to dedicate this build to Kiko. So that is why there is a hamster cage there, even if it doesn't really fit. And I suppose you could delete it, but I just put it there as, you know, a little bit of memorabilia for my dear hamster who has passed away. And yeah, so now we are working on the bathroom area, and this has like something that I haven't really done before, which is one of those shower stalls, essentially like a walk-in shower thing. And I think that it turns out looking really nice. I like it. I go back and add a curtain to it on the inside later, because I imagine that the sim could like open and close the curtain depending if they want to be able to see into the rest of the bathroom or not. But I end up doing that later, I think, after I like do the dining area and everything, because sometimes I just don't think of these things until like I actually sit back and look at the build, which is what happens a lot. Is on Twitch chat, after I finish a build, I will like sit back and kind of tour the whole build with them, and then I figure out things that I want to add, and then I add them, and it just is a vicious cycle. So that's essentially what happens when I stream on Twitch. But I'm happy about it, because sometimes when I go back and watch my old YouTube videos where I didn't stream on Twitch, there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have added that. But I think like maybe if I had been streaming at the time, I would have thought to add it because somebody would have reminded me, or I would have gone back through and actually noticed it. But yeah, there was me playtesting the door. I wasn't sure if Sims could actually walk through doorways if they had curtains on them, and luckily they can, because I think that it makes this space look a lot more cozy with the curtains on the doors, so that you can like imagine that your Sim can actually close the curtains and have a little bit of privacy, because those doors are really big and they're in the front of the house and in the back of the house. So I don't know, I just think it's nice and realistic to have those big curtains there that they can close, even though they can't actually close them. Wouldn't it be nice if they could though? I mean, why don't we have functional curtains at this point? We have functional ceiling fans, but we don't have functional curtains. I don't know. I wish that a lot more of the decorative objects were actually usable. Like, I kind of wish that your Sim could walk up to the perfume and actually spray some perfume on themselves and get like a moodlet that they smell nice, and then other Sims get a moodlet that your Sim smells nice when your Sim walks by them for like 4 hours or something. Maybe that's just too in-depth, but I think that it's like the small things like that that add to gameplay for me. I always notice the little things, like look at those footprints off to the side. Well, now you can't really see them, but search for them, especially when I work outside. Like, look at the little footprints in the sand where my Sim was walking. I think that's so nice that it actually leaves footprints and they don't like disappear right away. There's just footprints in the sand from where my Sim was walking. I think that's like such a cute little detail, and I wish there was more of that, those small details. Although I will say The Sims 4 compared to The Sims 3 does have a lot more of those little small details. Even though The Sims 3 had more stuff to do and like the open world and everything, The Sims 4 has like, you know, like the lighting comes in through the windows and you actually see like the shadows where the windowsill and everything is. Or like if you have a glass roof, you actually get like, if you use that nice little spirally one, you actually see the shadows of the spirals on the ground. And at night in Willow Creek, you hear crickets chirping, and I don't know, it's just very aesthetic and I like it. And I like those little details. I think those are what make the game for me, especially what sets it apart from previous Sims games, because if we're gonna go off of like what has more to do, The Sims 3 definitely has more to do, but like the graphics and just like those little details in The Sims 4 are like what keep me playing it. And I'm going off on a rant now. So here we are making the backyard area, and that is the little footprints that I was talking about that I think are so cute. And I was obsessing over them on Twitch chat, and everybody was just like, you're crazy, but they don't understand. Because a lot of the people in my Twitch chat don't play The Sims, and I'm not really sure why that is. They just always end up on my page somehow, even though they don't play The Sims, but I'm fine with that, honestly. I could see how, even if you don't play The Sims, it would be very entertaining to watch The Sims, because I love watching people play The Sims, even though, you know, it's not like, even though, like, I play The Sims, I could see how if you don't play The Sims, it would still be very entertaining to watch. It's kind of like watching HGTV, in my opinion, like Fixer Upper and all that. Except for it's a lot more instant gratification because the things are just there. You don't have to actually build them. Yeah, so I think that I could definitely see how it would be very entertaining to watch, and that's probably why there's so many people that don't play The Sims in my Twitch chat, which I am completely okay with. And if you did want to follow me on Twitch, my username is exactly the same as my YouTube. It's Chinchilla Sims, and we are halfway to being a Twitch affiliate, so that's very exciting. But yeah, right now we're making this little backyard area. I love this area. I love the grill and the little patio dining, and I know that there is a hot tub, and this is Oasis Springs, and it's always like 104 degrees outside, but the people in the Twitch chat said they wanted a hot tub. I was like, should we put a pool or a hot tub? And everybody was like, hot tub. So I put a hot tub. I don't know. I still think that hot tubs are okay in warmer climates. It's nice to just sit in like a thing of boiling water, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what the temperature is. I mean, maybe being in the hot tub would make it feel less hot outside. You don't know. But yeah, you can totally switch out the hot tub with a pool or just get rid of the hot tub. That is completely up to you. but I do think that it looks nice in this little backyard oasis area. Oasis in Oasis Springs. So we are adding the finishing touches to this build right now. I don't know if you saw me add that card, but I think it looks super cute right there. And overall, I just think that this build turns out like adorable and very aesthetically pleasing, if I do say so myself. So right now I'm stacking up some pots, just pretending that like the Sims that live here have them sitting around. And oh, I add that little pitcher to that so that your Sims can like have a drink while they're in the hot tub. I don't know if they actually drink while they're in the hot tub. That would be interesting to see. That would be cute if they did though. But yeah, now we're just adding some outdoor lighting and testing out how it looks. I think that this looks very realistic from the front, and I do add a little bit of landscaping out front just so that it doesn't look so bare. And yeah, other than that, we are coming up on the screenshots for this build. So thank you so much for watching, and like I said, I will leave my gallery ID below so that you can download this house if you want to. And I will also leave a link to my Twitch channel if you would like to stop by and visit that. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off, can't take my eyes off. You got that motion, dance in slow motion. My eyes can't help looking at you right now. So much emotion, just pick your poison. Is every move you make even allowed? Can't get enough. I try my best to look away, but I can't stop. Am I a freak to you? We almost touch. I feel your body move my way, you're close enough. So